Here in New York City, this country's oldest board of health is attempting to attack this country's oldest problem. Inwood, Manhattan, a predominantly Latino neighborhood in one of the most densely populated and diverse cities in the country. But even here, Brianna Larios, a fourth-grade public school teacher in the Bronx, says there remains a need to consistently set the record straight in the classroom about this country's history and how people of color have been and continue to be affected by it.
If we're talking about Thanksgiving, we're not talking about Native Americans and pilgrims sat down at a table.
Brianna was elated to learn the City Board of Health issued a resolution Tuesday that officially declares racism as a public health crisis.
It gives me a lot of hope that finally we can start to address some of these systematic problems in our state, in our city.
The resolution attempts to go beyond just words on paper and instructs the city health department to, among other things, begin reporting race and ethnicity data to better identify where health issues may be spiking among people of color or where they may be experiencing a lack of access to health care.
As a Black woman and as a physician and as the first ever chief medical officer in the New York City Health Department, it has been so encouraging and hopeful for me.
Dr. Michelle Morse, the City Health Department's chief medical officer, says the declaration will build new tools into the agency in order to actually dismantle the framework of institutionalized racism.
Policy often encodes and leads to unfair, unjust health outcomes. And so this is a way of saying we can create new policies and new practices and new actions that actually interrupt those practices.
What would you like to see come out of this declaration, other than it just being a news release?
I would like for people to understand that racism does kill.
Psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Gardier.
People internalize that racism, and it affects their internal organs, and it affects the way that they think, it affects their self-esteem, it affects the way that they live and the access to the things that they should have, they're not able to get.
And in an interesting collaboration, this resolution also calls for the City Health Department to make recommendations regarding anti-racism, health-related revisions to the city charter to the Mayor's Racial Justice Commission. We're live in Inwood tonight. DOW Pix 11 News.